Students, welcome back to Fundamentals of Engineering Mathematics, and this is our lesson 6, which is plane and solid mensuration or plane and solid geometry. So we are going to start this lesson by talking about angle. So yung angle is defined as the degree of openness or closeness of between the intersection of two rays. So a ray is a point extending to one direction indefinitely. Then the intersection between those two is called the angle. The degree of openness or closeness of this angle is measured by this units of measurement, which is degree, radian, or mil. So siguro ang pinaka-familiar sa inyo dito is yung degree. One revolution is 360 degrees. So what does this one revolution mean? One revolution of a circle. So kung mapapansin niyo, dalawa kasi siyang ray, di ba? So kapag nag-overlap yung dalawa, so, hindi open yung angle. So, 0 degrees yun. So, habang lumalayo yung itong ray na to dito sa original niyang position, mas lumalaki yung angle until na makabuo siya ng ng isang circle. I'm sorry. So, ang one revolution is 360 degrees. Then, it can also be angle can also be expressed in terms of radians. Yung radians naman is 2 pi or 2 pi radian is equal to 1 revolution. That means 1/2 revolution is pi, then 2 pi, 2 revolution. The second revolution is 2 pi is 1 revolution. So, also have yung gon, also called grad or grades, which is 400 gons is equal to 1 revolutions. And we also have the mil, which is 6,400 mils is equal to 1 revolution. Now, polygons is a plane. A polygon is a plane figure with 3 or more angles. It has many sides as angles. So, hindi tayo pwedeng makabuo ng polygon with only 2 sides. This is only an angle or right angle. This is only an angle. So, when we add another side, this becomes a polygon. This is called a triangle. The sides of the polygon are straight lines. The term polygon comes from the Greek words poly, which means many, and gonia, which means angles. A regular polygon is a polygon having all sides equal and all angles equal. So we have two kinds of polygons, the convex and concave polygon. So ito yung convex polygon, ito yung concave polygon. Ang convex polygon has all the interior angles which are less than 180. So this is definitely less than 180. Ito din, less than 180 to. So this is a convex polygon. How about this? This is a concave polygon since this angle A is greater than 180 degrees. So the reentrant angle is the inward pointing angle. So in this figure, this is the reentrant angle. It points inward. While the other angles are called the salient angles. This is the salient angle. This is the reentrant angle. So to compute for the number of diagonals in a polygon, we have this formula, n over 2, this one, n over 2 times n minus 3. So, first, ano yung diagonal? A diagonal is the line connecting two opposite vertices. The number of diagonals in a polygon can be calculated using this formula. So, for example, we have a pentagon. Yan. Ang diagonals niya is this. So, i-connect natin yung mga diagonal niya. So, we have formed a pentagram. So, in this case naman, hindi lang ito yung figure natin is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a hexagon. So, because it has 6 sides. So, if we are going to connect the diagonals in this way, we can form a 6-pointed star. So, to compute the number of the diagonals without drawing these lines, we can use this formula. So the interior angles of the polygon are the angles inside the polygon. The sum of the interior angles of the polygon can be calculated using the following formula: n minus 2 times 180, where n is number of sides. So for example, in a triangle, we have 3 sides. So using the formula, 3 times minus 2 is 1 times 180 is 180. That's why the sum of the angles in a triangle is always 180. Sa quadrilateral naman, or polygons with 4 sides, 4 minus 2 times 180 is 360. So the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral cannot exceed 360, and so on. Then the deflection angle of a polygon is the angle subtended by the prolongation of one side to the next side. So the sum of all the deflection angles must be equal to 3,600. So halimbawa ito, this is the interior angle, this is the deflection angle, this one. Okay? Now, we have the triangle. So the triangle is a polygon which has 3 sides. All three sides are contained in the plane. So we have different classifications of triangle according to side, according to angle. So first, according to size, we have the equilateral triangle, which have all sides equal and all angles equal. An equilateral triangle is also equilateral. An equilateral triangle is also equiangular. Each interior angle is 60 degrees. Then we have the isosceles triangle, where two sides are equal and corresponding two angles are also equal. So, yung illustrate natin, kunyari ito yung equilateral, let's just assume na pare-pare pantay-pantay yung sides niya by using this. Then, the isosceles triangle have two sides equal. This side is not equal to the two. Then, the scalene triangle has no sides equal. So, this case, 1, 2. So, 1, 2, 3. So, in this case, this is a scalene triangle. 1, 2, 3. So, those sides are equal. So, how about the classification of triangles according to angle? A acute triangle has each interior angle that is less than a right angle. So, this will be an example of that. An equilateral triangle is an acute triangle kasi lahat ng sides is less than 90, which is kasi 60, diba? So, that's an acute triangle. A right triangle naman has one side as a one angle has a right angle. Like this. So, walang triangle na may dalawang right angles. Lahat sila, isa lang ang right angle. So, it may be a scalene triangle or an isosceles triangle. Then, an obtuse triangle has one angle greater than right angle. So, ang itsura niya siguro ganito. So, this is an obtuse triangle. So, a triangle which is not a right triangle is known as an oblique triangle. Both acute triangle and obtuse triangle are oblique triangles. This is an oblique triangle. This is also an oblique triangle. Then we have special types of triangles: Egyptian triangle, pedal triangle, golden triangle. So, pag Egyptian, 3, 4, 5 ang ratio ng mga sides nila. Then, yung pedal triangle, triangle described in a given triangle whose vertices are the feet of the tree perpendicular to the sides at some point is a given triangle. Just search this in the internet. This is not very important actually. Then, golden triangle, the ratio of the sides is the ratio of the sides to the base is the golden ratio, 72:36 ang angles nila. Then sa quadrilaterals we have different kinds: square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, trapezoid, trapezium, kite, deltoid, and cyclic quadrilateral. So yung square, I know you're familiar with this. All sides are equal. Rectangle, two sides are equal. Two pairs are equal. Then right angle sila. Then rhombus, similar to rectangle, but not all sides are right angle. Similar to rhombus, yung rhombus pala is similar to square but no sides are right angles. Then parallelogram, rectangle din but no angles are right angles. Then trapezoid, two sides are parallel. Trapezium, no two sides are parallel. Kite is para siyang convex quadrilateral whose adjacent sides are equal in pair. Parallelogram but parang ganyan. Two sides ang equal niya pero yung dalawang sides equal pero hindi sila opposite, instead adjacent sila. Then deltoid, adjacent sides are equal in pair. Then cyclic quadrilateral, the vertices lie on a circle. For example, ito magkasya siya sa circle. Yung mga corners niya is mag-touch sa circumference ng circle. That makes it a cyclic quadrilateral. So, for the area of the general quadrilateral, we have this general equation. If you already know the dimensions of the measurements of the diagonals, that will be 1/2 d1 d2 sine theta. So, parang na-derive lang din siya sa formula ng triangles. Kasi if you notice, this is a triangle, this is a triangle, this is another triangle. Okay, so doon lang din siya na-derive. Then, for the area of the general quadrilateral, if you don't know the diagonals, but you know the measurement of the side, you can use the Brahmagupta's formula, which is the square root of s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, s minus d minus abcd cosine squared theta, in which theta is the average of the two angles and two opposite angles, and s is the semi-perimeter or the sum of all the sides divided by 2. So, in this case, you can use this Brahmagupta's formula. It's actually just mahaba lang siyang tingnan pero madali siyang gamitin. But you can use the triangulation method. Gawin mo tong triangle. Then solve for this using 1/2 AB sine theta. The 1/2 AB side of this angle. And voila, you have the area of this. Then do the same with the other side. Then you have the area of the general quadrilateral. Then how about for a cyclic quadrilateral? This is what a cyclic quadrilateral looks like. So in this case, you can use the Brahmagupta's formula minus ABCD cosine squared theta. Kasi in this example, in the cyclic quadrilateral, magiging 90 yung average magiging 90 yung average ng dalawa nitong opposite angles. And the cosine of 90 is 0, right? Cosine 90 is 0. So, magka-cancel out yung ito. Magka-cancel out ito. So, you can use this formula. Sine area is equal to s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, s minus d. The square root of that. Then, the radius of the circle circumscribing the quadrilateral may be calculated using the formula. So, the radius would be the center of this circle to the nearest corner, to the point on the circumference. So, it can be found using this formula, AB plus CD, AC plus BD, AD plus BC over 4A. Okay, so how about if it's the other way around? The quadrilateral is outside the circle. Dito kasi the quadrilateral is inside the circle. So how do you find for the area of the circle? So there is equal to RS. Area is equal to the radius of the circle, and the area of the quadrilateral is equal to the radius of the circle times the semi-perimeter or the square root of ABCD. Square root of ABCD. Okay? Brahmagupta's theorem states that in a cyclic quadrilateral having perpendicular diagonals, the perpendicular to a side from the point of intersection of the diagonal always bisects the opposite side. So in this example, in this figure, this is a cyclic quadrilateral. Then it has perpendicular diagonals as shown. The perpendicular to a side from a point of intersection of the diagonals. So ito yung point of intersection on diagonal. So we're going to draw from this point to the other side. So para maging perpendicular siya, perpendicular to this side. So if we are going to extend that to the other side of the polygon, so this line bisects this side. So has this has equal measurement. So that's the Brahmagupta's theorem. Then according to Ptolemy, the sum of the products of two pairs of the opposite sides of a convex cyclic quadrilateral is equal to the product of the lengths of the diagonals. Ano sabi? The sum of the products of products of two pairs of opposite sides of a convex cyclic quadrilateral. For example, ito yon. So A, B, C, D. The sum of the products BC plus AD, sum of the products of two pairs of opposite sides AD and BC is equal to the product of the lengths of the diagonals. So basically, BC plus AD is equal to D1, D1, D2. Okay, so finally, we arrive to the shortcut formulas for the area of regular polygons. So for regular polygons, if the side is given, say the side is given as A, so the formula for the perimeter is easy. That will be n times A, or the number of sides times the length of each side. But for the area, it's a little bit more complicated. That will be 1/4 NA squared cotangent 180 over n, where n is the number of sides. So if you are like me, who does not want to memorize formulas, you can just always divide the polygon, since this is a regular polygon. So just divide it into small triangles. Sorry. So if you parang magsa-slice ka ng pizza, then you will calculate for the area of that pizza, then multiply it to the number of slices that there are. So in this case, ito yung A. So I will take this triangle and get the area of this using the data that I know. So for example, I know that this side is A, and I know the angle of this angle is 360 over A. Oh. Angle theta is 360 over, so suppose this is an octagon, 8. So 360 over n, then A. So I could calculate the area of that by I could calculate the area of this triangle by using sine and cosine laws. 360 over n. So, parang dito lang din siya na-derive, kaya naging ito yung formula. Then, how about the area of a regular polygon circumscribing a circle? So, nasa labas yung polygon, nasa loob yung circle, you are given the radius of the circle. So, are you going to solve for this? So, we have the shortcut formula, ito, nr squared tan 180 over n, then p is equal to 2nr tangent 180 over n. So, if you don't want to memorize formulas again, you can just, since you have this information, you can just take this triangle over here. So, isolate natin. Ito yung triangle. It has R. Then, you will know that this angle kasi this will be 360 divided by number of sides divided by 2. Tama. Kasi itong angle siya, dinivide pa siya sa 2. Itong buong angle na to, this is 360 over n, di ba? So, dinivide pa yun sa 2. So, ito na rin yun. Since you have this angle, this side here, this measurement here, you can easily compute for this length. Let's say A, this length. Then from that, area of the base times height times the number of slices there are in this polygon. So, parang ganun din dito. So, dito, you have A. So, you can divide this kasi hindi natin alam to, hindi natin alam to. Then, divide the triangle. Then, you have this is A over 2. This is, you don't know what length this is. Label it as R. Then, this is 360 over 2. So, using sine and cosine laws, you can calculate for L. Then, area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. Then, the area of the whole polygon, for the area of the polygon, multiply it by the number of sides n times 2. Okay? So, for the area of the regular polygon inscribed in a circle, yung circle naman yung nasa labas, this will be easier kasi if you form a triangle here, then you have the angle here, which is 360 over n. Then, since this is R, this is also R, since this is a circle. So, this will be easy. Area of one triangle is equal to 1/2 AB sine theta. So, theta, this is theta, 360 over n. Then, multiply it by the number of sides there are in this polygon. Okay, so we are done with the plane geometry. Now, for the solid geometry, we talk about the polyhedron. Kung merong polygon, meron ding polyhedron. So, polyhedron is a solid whose faces are plane polygons. The term polyhedron comes from the Greek poly and for many and hedron for base or face. Polyhedra are named according to the number of faces. The polyhedron with 6 faces is called the hexahedron, while one with 3 faces is called a tetrahedron. Actually, tetrahedron has 4 faces. So, this is a typo error. 4 dapat. 4 faces. A regular polyhedron is a solid with all of its faces identical regular polygons. There are only 5 regular convex polyhedra, namely the tetrahedron, hexahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron. These solids are known as Platonic solids in honor of Plato. So, I have here the 5 polyhedrons and the formulas here listed, but you don't need to memorize this all. So just refer to this PowerPoint whenever you need. So this is a tetrahedron. It looks like a regular triangular pyramid because that's what it is. So it has 4 faces, 1, 2, 3, then yung nasa ilalim, then 6 edges, 4 vertices, and the polygon angle is 60 degrees. So for the volume of this will be simply 1/3 area of the base times height. But if you only know what the measurement of the edge is, that will be 1/2 e cubed square root of 2. Then sa hexahedron is just a cube. It has 8 faces, 12 edges, 6 vertices, and the volume of this is 1/3 e cubed square root of 2. But for us, it's just s cubed, diba? This one, s cubed. Then sa octahedron, I think this is a typo error. This should be just e cubed, diba? E cubed. Then sa total area niya, this is also incorrect. Sorry. So for the octahedron, so yung octahedron is just the tetrahedron pasted together. Pinagdikit lang sila. So it has 8 faces, 12 vertices, 6, so ito siya, octahedron. Then, for the dodecahedron, ang mga face niya is pentagon. So, that means this one, lahat ito malito. So, just refer to your the information that you know about the cube for the formulas here. So, for the dodecahedron, the face of this is, it has 12 pentagons as its faces, then 30 edges, 20 vertices, and so on. So, ito yung volume niya. But you don't need to memorize that. Then finally, icosahedron, it has the triangle, 20 triangles as its faces, and it has 30 edges. Okay, so the most common spatial figure or solid figure that we know is the prism. So a prism is a polyhedron with two faces or bases parallel and congruent, and whose remaining faces or lateral faces are parallelograms. A cube is a prism with all 6 faces a square. It is a regular hexahedron and one of the 5 Platonic solids. Meanwhile, a rectangular parallelepiped is a prism with all 6 faces a rectangle. So, ang basic formula for prism is area of the base times height. Okay? So, dito lang iikot yung ibang formula natin sa mga dadating pang chapters, dadating pang slides natin na i-discuss. So, that will be area of the base. Kung i-label natin yung length yung width ng base as A, then ito yung length as B, then yung height as C. So, you get this formula, B is equal to ABC. Then, for the area, that's just this area, the area of this one. Since pareho to at saka ito, let me erase. So, this is the prism example. So, ito yung 2AB, isang area, isang face. So, since pareho ito, i-add na lang i-multiply na lang natin siya sa 2. Then, area naman nitong isa pa. So, pareho ito at saka itong nasa kabila. So, multiply na lang natin sa 2. Then, yung nasa top, tsaka yung nasa baba. So, multiply na lang natin sa 2. So, this is the most common type ng prism, which is the right prism. It is one which has its lateral faces perpendicular to the base. So, the volume of this prism is area of this base times height. Whatever the base is, you just multiply it and find the area, then multiply it by the height. Then the lateral area of the prism, pag sinabing lateral area, it's just the area of the lateral faces, not including the area of the bases. That will be h times the perimeter of the base. So, we also have yung oblique prism. Hindi siya kagaya nito, na area of the base times height lang. Kasi medyo slant siya. So, just imagine na ito ay stock ng Pringles. Magkakapatong siya na mga chips ng Pringles. So, pag linabas mo siya, right prism siya kasi parang inline yung mga chips. Pero pag halimbawa na push mo to, kaya naging slanting yung axis ng Pringles mo. So, to calculate for the volume of this, hindi na natin magagamit tong area ng base nito kasi parang biased na siya, na-slant na kasi siya. So, nag-iba na rin yung height niya. So, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung area ng perpendicular, lateral area of the perpendicular or perimeter of the right section, area of the right section, this one. So, kung papansin natin, pag kinat ko yung prism na to, na ganito at like this na ito ay magiging right prism and right angles dito. Pag linipat ko to dun sa taas, magiging isang buong right prism na lang siya. Okay? So, that's why you just calculate for the area of the perpendicular face, perpendicular section times the lateral height. Lateral edge. So, how about naman yung truncated prism? So, yung truncated prism is a prism na hindi magkakapareho yung height ng mga so it is a portion of prism contained within the base and the plane that is not parallel to the base. So, hindi magkakapantay yung mga height ng mga lateral heights niya. So, anong gagawin natin dito? Kunin natin yung average height ng mga yung average height nila. Kasi para siyang, kunyari ito ay lalagyan ng asukal. So, natapol mo yung asukal na natapol mo siya, hindi naman natapol mo siya. So, nung tinayong mo siya ulit, hindi na uniform yung surface niya. So, anong gagawin mo? I-shake mo siya para maging pantay yung prism, maging pantay yung level niya para masukat mo siya ng maayos. So, yun yung gagawin natin. Area of the base times the average height of the heights of the lateral edges. Then the cylinder is just a prism with the base as a circle. So, pareho rin, area of the base times height. Then, sa oblique cylinder, parang ganito rin siya, oblique prism. Sa oblique cylinder, hindi na natin magagamit tong area na to ng base times height kasi parang ibang volume ng cylinder makukuha niya. So, ang gagawin natin, kakat natin yung cylinder dito, ililipat natin siya dun. Pareho rin yung height, itong length na to, pareho. Pero yung area, makokorek. Okay? So, that will be the area of the perpendicular section times the lateral edge. Then sa pyramid is 1/3. The volume of pyramid is 1/3 of that of a volume of a prism. 1/3 BH. Sa cone, that will be 1/3 of a volume of a cylinder. So 1/3 area of the base times height. Then sa frustum ng pyramid, so the frustum is parang, ito yung pyramid, nakat siya dito. So natanggal tong ulo, natanggal. So ito, yung natira ay yung frustum. So ang shape niya ay parang shape ng isang piece ng Toblerone. So how do you get the formula or the volume of this? So that will be 1/3 height times area of base 1, this is B1, plus area of base 2, plus the square root of this 2. Okay? Then, sa cone naman, parang parehong method din. So, that will be pi over 3, radius 1, sorry, kulang to eh. Pi over 3, radius 1, squared, radius 2 squared, plus radius 1 times radius 2 times height. Then for the prismatoid, a prismatoid is a polygon having bases of two polygons in parallel planes, and for lateral faces, triangles or trapezoids with one side lying on one base and the opposite vertex or side lying in the other base of the polyhedron. Okay? So it has bases which are two polygons in parallel planes like this. Tapos yung lateral faces niya is triangles or trapezoids. So that means hindi sila parehong pentagon in this case. So in this case, ang volume natin will be L over 6 plus area of base 1 plus area of base 2 sa baba plus 4 times area dito sa gitna. So we have to find for the area at the middle, at the midsection. Area at the midsection. So if this is the length, so this is L over 2, so we have to calculate for the area here. Then finally, sphere. A sphere is a solid bounded by a closed surface, every point of which is equidistant from a fixed point called the center. So this is the most common depiction of a ball. So the volume of this sphere is given as pi over 3 pi r cubed, and the surface area is A is equal to 4 pi r squared. So we are familiar with the formula for the volume and surface area of the sphere. How about yung parts ng sphere? Halimbawa, itong zone, ito lang. Halimbawa, you have a ball, kunyari keso de bola siya, tapos kinat mo lang siya dito. Hindi siya nag-pass dito sa gitna. Madali sana kung ginitna natin kasi 4 over 3 pi r cube over 2 lang yan. Pero how about pag ganito? So, pag spherical zone, ang hinahanap lang dun ay yung surface area. So, it is the zone of the surface of the sphere included between two parallel planes. In this case, ito yung isang parallel plane, ito yung another parallel plane. So, the formula for that will be A times 2 pi r h. R, 2 pi r times h times the height h, which is the height from the center of uh, the cutting plane to the other cutting plane. Then for the segment, so it is a solid bounded by the zone and the planes of the zone space. So ito yung zone kasi ito yung first plane, ito yung second plane. So alam natin kung paano kunin ang surface area nito. How about the volume? So yung volume is given as pi h cube over 3 times 3r minus h, which 3r is the radius and h is the height from one plane to another. Then for the sector, para siyang cone na meron siyang pabilog dito. It is the volume and the solid formed by a zone and a cone. So, the volume of this is 1/3 area of the zone times r. Parang area of the base times height lang. Area of the zone times r, or the radius. Then for the spherical pyramid, this will be discussed on trigonometry. So the formula for that is pi r squared e over 540, in which e is the spherical excess of the polygon ABCD in degrees. So in this case kasi yung polygon natin is a triangle. Dito sa formula is quadrilateral, pero pareho lang yun. So, ito kasi, itong mga side na to is expressed in degrees, hindi in inches. Kasi ang plane nito ay spherical. So, we will discuss that using during spherical trigonometry. Then, for the wedge, kung halimbawa, ito yung pakwan. So, yung wedge is the slice that you make for the pakwan. So, ang formula nito is pi r cubed theta over 270. But you don't need to memorize this formula. You just find for the area of the sphere, volume of the sphere times kung anong part siya ng triangle. Just get this angle here, theta over 360. Okay? So, volume of the sphere times theta over 360. Dito mo makukuha kung gaano kalaki siyang part ng sphere na kinat mo. For example, kung 180 yung theta dito, 180 over 360 is 1/2. So that will be volume of the sphere times 1/2. So that will be the half of the sphere. Then yung torus is also called the donut. So the volume of this donut is pi and 2 pi squared r squared, in which r is the big diameter, big radius, and the small r squared is the smaller radius of this circle. So, basically, that's just telling us na it's just the area of, sorry, this formula tells us that the volume of this torus is just the area of this circle, the cross section of the donut, that will be pi r squared times the circumference of this donut. So that will be 2 pi r. So naging 2 pi squared r squared r. Okay? Then sa lateral area of the torus, that's just 4 pi squared 4 pi squared r. So that will be just the circumference of the circle, that will be 2 pi r multiplied by the circumference of this thing, 2 pi r. So that will be 4 pi squared r. Okay? So this is called the this is the formula for the torus, or the Pappus theorem. Pappus theorem. So that Pappus theorem simply states that the area of the solid of the torus is equal to the area of the circle. The volume of the torus or donut is equal to the area of the circle, then times the swept path of this. So parang umikot siya. So that's just the area of this rotated around this torus. And same goes with the area. So sa ellipsoid naman, so we are familiar with this. Ellipsoid is the shape of the earth is an oblate spheroid. So a spheroid is a solid formed by revolving an ellipse about its axis. The general formula for that is 4 pi ABC, in which A is this radius. Uh, kasi iba-iba yung measurements ng radius sa bawat axis. So, A times B times C. 4/3 pi ABC. So, prolate spheroid is by revolving an ellipse about its major axis. So, for example, this is the ellipse. So, if we revolve an ellipse about its major axis, ito yung major axis niya, then revolve it, we will form a somewhat shaped like a hotdog bun. Ito. So, probably ganito itsura niya ito. Itong second figure. Then, sa oblate spheroid naman, it is the shape of the earth, diba? So, just remember, just remember na ang shape ng earth ay oblate spheroid. So, kung ang shape ng earth ay oblate spheroid, alin dito yung pinaka-closest? Dito sa dalawa ang pinaka-closest sa shape ng earth. Ito. So, that is made by revolving an ellipse about its minor axis. So, ang minor axis ng ellipse na to ay ito. So, if we rotate it about this axis, ito yung kakalabasan. So, it is shaped like a siopaw or an orange. So, the volume for a prolate and an oblate spheroid is V is equal to 4/3 pi A. So, AB squared. So, whichever, kung alin yung na-rotate, in this case, ito yung na-rotate. So, sa prolate spheroid, that will be AB pi AB squared. So, since dito rotate, ibig sabihin, yung A tsaka yung C is same ang measurement. Mali lang yung pagkalagay dito. So, for this prolate spheroid, ang formula natin is 4/3 pi A squared B. Kasi, yung A and C are same measurements since na-revolve siya about B. So, about sa oblate spheroid. So, sa oblate spheroid, kasi ibang photo yung ibang source ng picture na to. So, the volume of that is pi/3 um, 4/3 pi. Then, since na-rotate siya about the major minor axis, that means itong dalawa ay pareho ng measurement. That will be a squared b. A squared b. Okay, depende lang to sa situation kung alin yung magiging squared. But if you're confused, just remember this one. B is equal to 4/3 pi ABC. So let's solve for the problem. And problem number 1, determine the area of a regular 6-star polygon if the inner regular hexagon has 10 centimeters size. So first, let's illustrate the problem. So sabi dito is regular 6-star polygon. So that would look like this. Looks like the Star of David. The one at yung star na nasa flag ng Israel. So this is how it looks like. And according to the problem, the area by the measurement of the side of this inner polygon is 10 centimeters. So remember na in a 6-star polygon, the sides of the two triangles superimposed, itong dalawang triangle na to are equilateral triangle. So that means if this is 10, this is also 10, this is 10 centimeters, this will also be 10 centimeters. Kasi yung mga star na to, ay itong mga arms ng 6-star polygon are also equilateral triangle. So this is also 10, since ito 10 din to, di ba? Ito 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So since these are equilateral triangles, that means the sides are also 10. To 10 din to, 10, 10, 10. So, linalagyan ko siya ng line na yan to indicate that they are equilateral triangles, equilateral sides. So, we can solve for by inspection, we can solve for the area of this figure by solving for the area of small triangles plus area of hexagon. Okay? So, from our previous lessons, we would know na this hexagon can also be divided into smaller triangles. So that is by connecting the diagonals, connecting the the opposite vertices. So as you can see, na-divide ko siya into smaller triangles. And what are the dimensions of these smaller triangles? If this is 10, since this is a regular hexagon, the angle here is 360 divided by 660. That means that this small triangle is also an equilateral triangle. So that means kung 10 ito, itong side na to is 10, 10 din ito, 10 din ito. So that means that the area of this 6-star polygon is equal to area of small triangle times 6 plus 6, 12. Okay, so that should be easy. Kuha tayo ng isang triangle dito. Isolate natin to. Kahit anong triangle dyan, pwede natin gamitin. Since they are all equilateral triangles. I want to have a green ink. So, kuha tayo ng konti, ng maliit dyan. So, the measurement of this is 10, 10, 10. You can use any formula for getting the area of a triangle that you know, but the handiest formula for me would be area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 AB sine theta, in which A and B are adjacent sides and theta is the angle between the two sides. So in this case, A is 10, B is 10, and theta is the angle in between, which is, you may guess, 60. So area of the triangle is 1/2 10 squared sine 60. So that will give us, oh, let me get my calculator, 0.5 times 100, because 100 is 10 squared, times sine 60. So make sure your calculator is in degrees and not radian. So that gives us 25 square root of 3 centimeter squared. So finally, the area of the 6 star polygon is equal to 25 square root of 3, sorry sa handwriting, 25 square root of 3 times 12. And that gives us the value 519.60 square centimeters. That will be letter C. Okay, that was fun. Okay, so number 2, problem number 2 naman. In a circle of diameter of 10 meters, a regular 5-pointed star touching its circumference is inscribed. What is the area of the part that is not covered by a star? So, let's illustrate this first. I have a circle, then I have a five-pointed star. So, a five-pointed star is a pentagram. Sorry, parang pangit na. Okay. Let's just assume na, ayan, assume na lang natin na perfect star siya. So, the diameter of this circle is 10 meters. So, that means the radius is 5. Let me get a different ink for that for better contrast. So, this is 10 meters. Sorry, 5 meters pala since ang diameter is already 10. So, this is 5 meters. So, we are going to calculate for the area not covered by the star, which is this areas. So, what are we going to do? So, if it were me, I would calculate for the area of the circle first, then I will subtract the area of the star. So, how are we going to calculate for the area of the star? The common method here, the easiest method to think of in this situation is to break down the star, five-pointed star, into smaller triangles. So, kung itong pagbasehan na natin yung 5 meter na diameter na radius. So, I want to draw a line from the circumference of the circle to the center, then connect it to this side, dito sa side na to. So, you can see na the star can be divided into 10 of these smaller triangles. So, 1, 2, kumbaga dalawa sa bawat arms ng star. So, pwede natin kung i-extend natin tong line na to the circumference of the circle, we can conclude that the angle here is 360. Let's label it as theta. Theta is 360 divided by 10. Tama? Kasi if we divide the star into smaller equal triangles like this, then that would also be dividing the circle into 10 equal pieces. Okay? So, theta is equal to 36 degrees. I want to isolate this triangle, para madali tayong So, na-isolate ko siya. Yan, ito siya. So, this angle is 36 degrees. So, ang meron ako dito, the information that I know is that this length is 5 meters. So, I don't know the rest of the information. Ano pang pwede nating makuhang information dito? Definitely hindi to, hindi siya right angle. Hindi siya right angle. Ano pa ba? How do we solve for this? So, for this is I see here a pentagon. Kita ko ng pentagon dito. Diba? Pentagon siya. So, maybe, I see. Alam ko na. So, ang next na pwede natin gamitin dito from this star is itong angle na to. So, I think I might not have discussed this with you, but this one, ito. So, the angle subtended by this arc is this much. So, ayan. So, di ba dinivide natin yung star into 10 smaller triangles that like this? So, there will come two triangles na ganito ang division niya. So, if we connect the center of the circle to the outer vertex of the star, center to the star, which is also through the circumference of the circle, and we do it to another vertex of the star like this. So, you can see na na-divide niya yung circle into 5 parts. So, this angle will be 360 divided by 5, which is 72. So, let's label it as phi. 72. Now, itong angle na to, ito, is subtended by this angle which extends from the vertex of one vertex of the star to another vertex of the star, and from this vertex of the star to another vertex of the star which also lies on the circumference of the circle. So by Law's circles, I think I did not discuss that with you, so just research about this topic. This angle is equal to phi over 2. This angle, label ko tong alpha, itong angle na to, is equal to phi over 2, which is equal to 36. So, itong angle ng alpha na to, which is 36, is twice this angle. So, that means this angle is 36 over 2. This angle is 36 over 2 or 18 degrees. Okay. So, we have two angles one side. What can we do with that? We can finally get the one side using sine laws. So, sine 36 over sine 36 over sorry. So, kailangan pala pair, kailangan ko din palang kunin itong angle na to. So, this angle will be 36 plus 18, 180 minus 36 over plus 18, 180 plus 36, minus 36 minus 18 pala. Ayan, so 126 degrees to. So, using sine laws, 5 meters is to sine 126 Let me make that neat. Okay, gawin natin siyang mas maayos. 5 meter is to sine 126, which is equal to, let's label this A. A over A yan na, hindi yan 9. Sine 18. So, opposite, opposite. That gives us A is equal to 5 times sine 18 divided by sine 126 is equal to 1.9098. Okay, finally, solve for the area of the triangle. Let me get a different ink color. Yellow. Area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 AB sine theta. So that will be 5, 1.9098 sine AB sine 36. So A is equal to 0.5 times 5 times answer times sine 36. 2.806 meters squared. So, hindi pa tayo tapos kasi kailangan natin yung total. So, that will be equal to, the total area will be equal to the area of the small triangle times 10. 28.064. Oh. So, hindi pa to yung final answer. Kasi, kailangan natin yung area not covered by the star. Sorry. Kailangan natin ng area not covered by the star. So, I'm going to erase this thing. So, area not covered by star is equal to pi r squared, which is 5 squared, minus the total area of the star, 28.06. So, that will be pi 5 squared minus answer, 50.47. Sorry. Let me correct that. 50.47 meters squared. So, our answer is letter C. Okay. Then, number 3. A regular pentagon has sides of 20 centimeters. An inner pentagon with sides of 10 centimeters is inside and concentric to the larger pentagon. Determine the area inside the concentric large pentagon but outside of the smaller pentagon. Okay. Let's illustrate first. I have a pentagon. Then inside of that pentagon, I have a smaller pentagon and I'll color it, I don't know, blue. Okay. So we have a smaller pentagon here. Sorry for the distorted image. Ayan. So these two are concentric. So the sides of the inner pentagon is 10 and the sides of the smaller one is 20. So how are we going to solve for this thing? We want to determine this area. This one, this area. Okay. Well, if it for me, you can solve for this by one way of solving this is to get the area of this one, then multiply it by 5, or you can also calculate for the area of the bigger triangle, bigger pentagon, then subtract it to the area of the subtract from it the area of the smaller pentagon. So you can choose whatever method you want. But for me, well, I don't know kung sakto ba siyang 10 dito. Sakto ba siyang 10, 10, 10. I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. We can't be sure. So, kung ako, para mas sigurado, we can calculate for the area of the big triangle first and the area of the smaller triangle naman. So, for the bigger triangle, for the bigger triangle, bigger pentagon, the area will be, so I'll draw a triangle there. So, that will be 10, 20. I-isolate ko lang yung triangle na to. 20. So, I would like to solve for areas of polygons this way because that way I won't have to memorize a lot of formulas. And parang mas na-visualize ko kasi siya pag ganito eh. So, anyway, it's your own preference naman. So, this angle will be 360 divided by 5. So, that will be 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. 72 degrees. So, what else do we know about this triangle? So, alam natin, this triangle is an isosceles one. So, that means, these angles, let's say, this is alpha and alpha. Alpha is 2 twice the value of alpha plus 72 is 180 because that's how triangles work. So, alpha is equal to 180 minus 72 divided by 2, 54 degrees. 54 degrees. So, meron na tayong isang known side and we know all the three angles. So, perhaps we can solve for the area of this triangle. But first, kailangan natin at least two sides. 54. Okay? Kailangan natin at least two sides of this triangle. So, we can do that using sine law. Sine law, that will be 20 over sine 72 equal to, let's label this A. Alpha A over sine 54, that gives us A is equal to 20 sine 54 divided by sine 72, 17.01 centimeters. So, since isosceles triangle to, the area of triangle is equal to 1/2 AD, so 17.01 squared sine 72. So, ang ginamit ko, itong dalawa tas ito. So, area of the smaller triangle is 0.5 times n squared times sine 72, 137.63 centimeter squared, and the area of the pentagon 1 is equal to this value multiplied by 5, 688.19 centimeters squared. Okay? Value na tayo for bigger pentagon. How about for smaller pentagon? So, sa smaller pentagon, same method. So, huwag na natin gamitin yan. Alam na naman natin na ang value ng ang angles nito, itong lahat ng angles dito, yung nabago lang ay yung sides. So, let's take another smaller triangle. So, this is 10, this is 72, this is 54, 54. Since similar triangle sila, kung ito ay 10, Similar triangle sila eh. Pareho sila ng angles. Ang nagkaiba sa kanila, yung sides. So, using sine law, 10 over sine 72 is equal to A over sine 54. So, in this case, A is equal to 8.50 507. 8.507. Ayan. Okay. So, kung manonotice ninyo yung 8.507 at 17.02 ay 17.01 divided by 2 is 8.507. Parang na-scale down lang yung triangle na to. Ito half. So, we should have done that. So, to compute for the area of this small triangle, that will be 1 half 8.507 squared times sine 72. So, area of the smaller triangle is equal to, of course, in 0.5 times 8.507 squared times sine 72, 34 point, is this correct? 34.4135. Then the area of the pentagon 2 is that value multiplied by 5, 172.07. So finally, ang area na hinahanap natin is, so the ink is green. So the area is equal to, I don't think so. Area is equal to 688.19 minus 172.07. So what do you think is the answer? 818 minus 516.12. So, ang answer natin will be letter D. Diba nakaka-enjoy mag-solve ng mga geometry-related problems? So, let's proceed to the next problem. The corners of a cubical box touch the closed spherical shell that encloses it. The volume of the box is 2744 cubic centimeters. What volume in cubic centimeters shell inside the shell is not occupied by the block? So, illustrate natin siya. Ito siguro siya. Ito siya. So, we have a cube. Okay, this is a cube. So, inside this are balls na the corners of a cubical block touch the closed spherical shell that encloses it. So, I want to draw the sphere. Yan, kunyari sphere na lang siya. Ayan, kunyari perfect sphere siya. Basta ang alam natin, natatouch niya yung mga sides ng sphere. Para siyang yung inscribed square in a circle, pero 3D. So, anong gagawin natin? We want to determine the volume na hindi occupied ng block. So, ang alam lang natin that the volume of the box is 2744 cubic centimeters. So, ang volume ng isang cube, the volume of a cube is S cube. So, from 2747, from 2744, S is equal to the cube root of 2744. So, 14. That means that the measurement of the side of this cube is 14 centimeters. This is 14. Okay. So how do we want to get information about this sphere from the block? So remember na galing dito sa side na to ng cube papunta dun sa side na yun. This is the whole diameter of the sphere. 'Di ba opposite sides sila, opposite edges sila. Kung halimbawa may hawak kayong Rubik's cube, the corners that are most distant to each other, yung pinakamalayo sa isa't isa, that will be this diagonal. So this is what we will refer to as the diameter of the sphere. So how are we going to solve for that length? So kung drawing ko lang yung mga hidden lines ng cube natin. Okay. As you can see, you can draw a triangle here with the diagonal of the square at the bottom of the cube and one edge. Okay? So, this is the diagonal. Kung halimbawa, ito yung face ng cube natin. Ang side niya ay 14. So, ang diagonal niya will be equal to C. So, C is equal to the square root of 14 squared plus 14 squared. C is equal to so that will be equal to 19.799. Okay? So this is 19.799. Then this is 14. So let's label it as D for diagonal. Ito siya. Kaya sulit ko lang siya. 19.799 14 D. So D is equal to the square root of 14 squared plus 19.799 squared. So D is equal to the 14 square root of 3 or 24.2487. Okay? That will be the diameter of the sphere. So that means the radius is half of this. The radius is 7 square root of 3 or 12.12. Okay. So the volume of the sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cube. Volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi 12.12 cube or 7465.15598 centimeter cube. Finally, the volume that we're looking for is equal to the difference between the two. So 746265.15598 5.598 minus 2744. So that is 47121.60. So maybe we just got a little too exact with our values. So the closest answer is this letter C. Okay. So this will be the last final problem. I will leave 383 for you as an exercise for you. So let's solve this thing. I want to use light blue ink. We have a cubical container which contains 2 inches on the side, slightly tightly packed with 8 marbles and is filled with water. So for example, ito yung front view ng cube natin. So you have 4. Kunyari na lang din magkakatabi sila, no? Okay. Let me try again. So kunyari ito yung ating cubical container, naka-front view lang. Kasi I can't quite illustrate as a 3D. Yan. Kunyari na lang dikit-dikit sila, no? So, this is 2 inches. So, 4 sa harap, 4 din sa likod, kaya 8 yun. Ay, pag tinop view mo siya, side view, front view, ganyan pa rin yung itsura. Kasi yung 4 na sa taas, 4 din yung nasa baba. 4 yung nasa harap, 4 yung nasa likod. So, ang kailangan natin ay what is the volume of the water in the container? So, it's tightly packed with 8 marbles filled with water. So, ito may tubig dyan. So, we want to compute for the volume of water. So, that will be the volume of this container, of the cubical container, minus the volume of the balls of the marbles. So, ang makuha nating information dito is that the cubical container is 2 inch. The sides are all 2 inch. Then the marbles, since 4 yung nagkasya, 2 per side. So that means ang diameter, etong buong length na to is 2. Pag hinati natin siya, since pareho yung size ng mga marbles, ang diameter ay 1 inch. 1 inch. That means the radius of the marbles is 0.5 inch. Okay, so ang volume ng cube is equal to 2 cube, which is 8 cubic inches. How about yung sphere, yung balls, ay marbles? Ang volume ng marbles is equal to 8 times the pi over 4/3 pi times 0.5 cube. Say we have 8 marbles and we want to get the volume of each marble. Then multiply it by 8. So Vm is equal to 8 times, sorry, I should have calculated already. So the volume of each marble is 1/6 pi. And multiply it by 8, we get times 8, 4/3 pi, or simply 4.8 4.189 cubic inches. So finally, the volume of the water will be 8 minus 4.189. So the volume of the water is how many cubic inches? 3.811 cubic inches. So our answer is letter C. Okay, so that will be all for today. Please solve the 383. So, sige, lagyan lang natin ng konting illustration to para ma-visualize niyo, okay? So, we'll have an ice cream cone filled with ice cream. So, this is the cone. Then, it is filled with ice cream. What color of ice cream do I want? Siguro, yan, yellow. So, surmounted by ice cream on the top. And this is in the shape of hemisphere. So, if the hemispherical, the surface area of this is equal to the surface area of this, find the total volume of the ice cream. Kasama na yung, kasi may laman din yung cone. Okay? So, please solve for this on your own para matuto din tayo. And thank you for listening today. I hope you learned something from my topic. And please don't hesitate to message me if you want to know something. Thank you.